Ja, let's check this on. You text me for No. You text me
Coach, give us some thoughts and comments in the mic, and then we'll take some questions.
I honestly have no words for what just happened, other than I can tell you this. I love this group more than anything I've ever been around. I love that they just poured themselves completely out for each other. I know that was a great big win and it's a big stage, but these guys have been doing this all year. There's not a single thing that they ever withheld from one another. There wasn't a single drop of sweat, not a single drop of blood, not a single drop of sacrifice that they did not withhold from each other all year. And I think tonight was just a culmination of what they've been doing since last March, whatever. When we walked out of this place with that empty feeling, I think these three guys here, along with the other guys in that locker room, devoted themselves to not feeling like that again. And I cannot be more proud. I couldn't love them any more than I do right now. Not just because they won the game, but because of who they are, just who they are as individuals and as a team. I'm completely in love with them.
Questions?
Coach. Hey, Coach, talk about what did you tell these guys at halftime, especially after coming from last year, being here after losing a guy like Cameron this year, and then we was here, covered you last year. You had a lot of emotions up here on this stand when you lost the game. So what did you tell these guys at halftime? What were you thinking about the 5-point deficit?
Honestly, I don't remember. I remember coming out thinking that we were in a good spot. I remember telling the guys that we were doing the things that we needed to do. I thought we hammered the ball inside. We got a lot of touches early. We got Garrick in foul trouble, which was huge for Scotlandville. And I remember telling them, keep hammering the thing inside. Good things are going to happen. I thought we missed a couple shots in the first half that I knew were going to end up going down in the second half, and more than anything, we just kept overemphasizing win the boards. And I've never seen a team attack boards the way we did there in the second half. And that's all I remember saying coming out at halftime. I didn't think we were doing the wrong things. I think we were doing a lot of the right things and just waiting for good stuff to happen. And in the second half, we just made the good things happen with the steals and the rebounds. And that's all individual and team efforts from these guys. It's nothing that I said. My assistant coaches are a whole lot smarter than me, and they know a lot more stuff to tell them. But I think it was just individual efforts and team efforts to go get the ball. And I think that's what you saw play out in the second half.
Coach, from last season to this year to this week, do you think tonight is redemption?
No, I don't know about redemption. I know that this year stands alone. I know what we did all year this year. This is a different group. This is a special group. This is the most special group I've ever coached in my life. I don't know if I'll ever have the privilege or honor to coach a more special group than what I've got right here. I mean, I've got some warriors sitting here next to me and in the room behind me. But I don't know if it's redemption. It's fulfilling. It's everything that we hoped it would be. Because last season and the season before that had no bearing on this season. We had to come into this season and devote ourselves to getting better with this group, with this team. And every single day that they've been in the gym, they never failed to get better. Every single day, even when they didn't want to, they found a way to get better.
Michael, when Carlos sat right there, he used the words, Natchitoches Central out-toughed us. And he said it on more than one occasion just 10 minutes ago. Talk about that.
I'm going to let one of these guys tell you, because they know everything about toughness. They know everything. I'm going to let one of these guys talk about that.
Well, first of all, going our way, he said we're tough. I agree. I feel like we're the toughest team in the state, especially these two sitting beside me. I feel like Sparky or Marquise, whenever he plays hard, whenever he's defending, as y'all saw, he had like 4 steals in the third quarter. That's tough, especially going against good guards. Those are high-level guards, or it can be, and got major potential to me. And for him to go out there and get those steals and play defense the way he did, I feel like that's really tough. And he sparked it. He got our engine going. And him, best big in the state. He has size physically, not vertically really, but he goes out and proves that it doesn't matter. He's
got the biggest heart in the state.
Yeah, he's one of the best players I ever played with in high school.
Austin, you've been challenged many times this year. Of course, we go back to the second round against Chalmette, where you got challenged by footer Mitchell Robinson, who went to committed to Texas A&M, and of course tonight, same thing. You just seem to win those battles down low with toughness, man. And I mean, not sound like a broken record here, but I mean, talk a little bit about where that competitive nature comes from.
Well, like my coach said, I got a big heart, and it don't matter who I go against. I'ma just out tough you. I'm gonna be better than you at everything I do on the court.
Marquise, it seems like your confidence started growing, especially with the reverse layup you made right there to give Natchitoches Central lead and all started going that big run. How do you feel about the confidence really growing and the way you played? It looked like you took over the fourth quarter.
I felt good about it. I felt good about it. I felt like I had to get us going, so I had to do what I had to do.
Hey, Brandon, when the clock was winding down the last couple of seconds there, just talk about a little bit about the emotions that was going through you when you felt like it was in hand.
Oh well, I really feel like we had the game in our hands with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Even though we were going back and forth, lead changing, but I just saw like the energy they had and the energy that we had feeding off our crowd. The crowd was rocking, and just I feel like I knew we had it. I just had a special feeling inside me, like the championship is ours. Nobody can take it from us. I feel like it belonged to us all year. We worked hard. I feel like we worked hard than everybody. We prepared everybody, and victory rewarded us for it.
This is for everybody, starting with Brandon. With everything going on back home, I've seen images of the flooding around NSU's campus and everything. How do you think this win kind of maybe adds a little bit of hope or a little bit of joy for people back at home?
Well, it gave joy to the city because we got a lot of people whose yards are flooded. People like our school is flooded, you got water in our school, things like that. So, and we had to go through water and stuff just to practice yesterday. Have a walk through practice. And
Pretty good story.
It's funny, but you don't. I just feel like you got to be part of Navy Central. You have to be tough because the odds were stacked against us. We had trouble getting down there. We got down here later than we were supposed to last night because of things going down in Natchitoches, but we took through it. Our city took through it and came and found a way down to come to support us with most of the roads blocked off. So it's just, I feel like us as a city, we was just one unit, It's just, and the fans are the heartbeat, and they came down and supported us, and we feeded out them, and we just played our way to victory.
Coach, it seems like you cracked the code with your defense against Scotlandville's offense in that third quarter. Like you tried some things in the first half, and the third quarter it came together. Could you talk about that? And also, you kind of tease us with a funny story. If you could maybe regale the group with that.
Well, defensively, there's not a lot of secrets to what we do. I think Coach Sample, very, very smart and very well-prepared coach, and I think he knew what we were going to come do. We're just going to come get in you. We feel like these guys just said, we feel like we are the best defensive team in the state, and you're going to have to be super tough to handle the ball against us. And, we just doubled down on what we do. We were super committed coming out of halftime to what we do, which is guarding the ball in the passing lanes, guarding the ball with pressure, not letting my man catch. We fronted the post beautifully all night. And, pressure is one of those things that a lot of times it takes time to see the effects, and eventually pressure is going to make you crack. And I'm not saying Scotlandville cracked, but we were able to take advantage of 4, 5, 6, especially in the third quarter with Marquise just going to get the ball in the passing lanes. And sometimes those balls don't have as much snap on them, and maybe the gap is a little bit wider, and it gives us just a half step more. And you see those things third and fourth quarter with pressure sometimes that you don't necessarily see in the first half. But, I think that's the way we've played all year. We sometimes don't get you in the first half, but we stick with what we do. These guys are super disciplined. They're super committed to each other, and they stick with it, and it finds a way to get you in the end. Funny story. Of course, my coach, this is the real brains of the operation in the back. He's the one that got us here. We had to go through about 5 to 6 foot of water just to get into our gym. We didn't have clothes, we didn't have uniforms, we didn't have shoes, so we had to find a way in. Our sheriff actually brought in boats, and we took the bus and just kind of chanced it. I hope my bus supervisor's not listening to this, but we actually just put the team, loaded them up, and said, you know what, let's go for broke. We've been doing this all year. We actually drove through water that came over the hood of the bus, And hey, we just toughed it out. Guys were behind us. We just kept moving forward, and we got to the gym somehow. Got in there, got to practice, and coming out was a little bit hairy, but we made sure all the kids knew how to swim before we got back on the bus. So it was great. We told them at the end before we got on that bus, I said, you guys are going to have a heck of a story to tell when we go win this thing. And forever, for the rest of their lives, they're going to be telling their grandchildren this. They're going to be boring them to tears with the same story over and over about how they won it and had to swim to Lake Charles to get here. But just incredible guys all the way around.
Coach, you talked about it earlier. Each team is different. Each team is special. How does this state title compare to the one you won earlier?
This is the most special moment I've ever had as a coach. I can't imagine having a more special moment. I know the first one was incredibly significant and special because it was the first one in school history, and I just remember that feeling. But this one here today, just because of everything we've had to go through, I can't give you words to tell you what this feels like. I can't give you words to tell you what it means to these guys. I wish I could. They don't exist. Nothing else compares to this right here, what we did tonight. Nothing else compares to it.
Coach, I want to congratulate Brandon on the most outstanding player. I want to ask you, you guarded the other most outstanding player from last year, Javonte Smart. And, how was that? Because it was like third quarter, you really got into him. And it surprised me that he being a point guard and you playing a position that you took it upon yourself to take upon the challenge to guard him. And do you expect to see him again next year?
Well, I'm not going to speak on next year. I'm just living in the moment right now. But, this stuff I've been doing since I was a freshman. I feel like ever since I've been growing up, my dad grew me up. He raised me to be like, don't run away from nobody. The best player, go take him out, go guard him, and do what you gotta do. I feel like my coaches told me early in the season, you're built for this moment. I feel like I was built for this moment, and it wasn't the most outstanding player doesn't really mean anything to me. I feel like my team is the most outstanding player. I don't think if I can give it to one, if I can give one to every one of my teammates, I would, because the thing people don't see is the scout team in practice going at us. I have a friend, Adrian. He's one of my teammates. I always guard him when he's on scout team. He goes at my neck. He eats me alive in practice sometimes, and I feel like that plays as much of a part as me. It plays more of a part than me going on the court and doing it because he gets me prepared. So it's not really as much as me; it's more of my teammates.
Congratulations.
Any other questions, guys? Congratulations, guys.